JapanCast.net.
And now, on with the show.
All right. Continuing on with our phrases. Is there a public restroom around here?
この近くにお手洗いはありますか？この近くにお手洗いはありますか？
Is Asakusa far from here?
浅草はここから遠いですか？浅草はここから遠いですか？
How long does it take?
どのぐらいかかりますか？どのぐらいかかりますか？
I'm lost. Where am I now?
道に迷ってしまったんですが、ここはどこですか？道に迷ってしまったんですが、ここはどこですか？
Were you disappointed by the ending of the TV show Lost?
テレビ番組ロストの最後にがっかりしましたか？ Do I have to repeat?
Yes.
テレビ番組ロストの最後にがっかりしましたか？
Could you show me where I am on this map?
現在地を教えていただけませんか？現在位置を教えていただけませんか？
Could you show me the way on this map?
地図で道を教えていただけませんか？地図で道を教えていただけませんか？
Could you draw a map here?
ここに地図を書いていただけませんか？ここに地図を書いていただけませんか？
May I use the restroom?
ちょっとお手洗いをお借りできますか？ちょっとお手洗いをお借りできますか？
And then afterwards you might want to say, do not go in there.
Do not go in there. Woo!
入っちゃダメ。ダメ入っちゃダメ。
Great. All right. Up next we have viewer questions, but first we want to thank Audible. Head to audiblepodcast.com/JapanCast and get your free audiobook. This week's recommendation is Japanese women don't get old or fat.
Yeah, I wanted to read this.
It's a very interesting book. And we're getting a lot of feedback from people who have subscribed and gotten the Pimsleur and they really like it.
Yeah.
So definitely check out, again, it's audiblepodcast.com/JapanCast and you can get your free audiobook. So up next, JapanCast Mailbag. This week we had a really long email from Jonathan. Wrote quite a few questions, so wanted to break it down into a couple different questions. First was, how do Japanese people generally feel about Shintoism versus Buddhism? Is it similar perhaps to how Italians view Roman mythology versus Christianity? Is it possible to be a follower of both Shintoism and Buddhism, or Shintoism and Christianity, or Shintoism and Islam? And most people in Japan actually follow a mix of Shinto and Buddhism. They do some Shinto ceremonies and some Buddhist ceremonies.
Right.
And I'm putting you on the spot here, so you might not know this, but I've seen the one where they have the tree leaves, and they're doing this with
That's Shinto.
That's Shinto. I thought that was Shinto. You see that a lot.
Baby, when new baby was born, then you take the baby to jinja, shrine, and we get blessings from
Shinto?
guy.
Okay.
Shinto
With the
yeah, kannushi-san. Yeah, the guy is called kannushi, right? But then we go to temple.
Buddhist temple.
Yeah, Buddhist temple too, to
So
pray.
a mix of the two.
Yeah.
Buddhism came to Japan in the 6th century, and its teachings are called sutras, and it focuses on awakening, attaining nirvana. And when you do this, you become a Buddha, but not the Buddha. So Shinto, on the other hand, there's no one person that's credited with creating it. And a lot of people consider it to be Japan's official religion because that's where it comes from. And what I found is that in Shinto, they believe that people are descended from kami, which are gods that live in all the natural things around you, in the rocks and the trees, kind of like Yoda describing the Force. In the rocks, the trees.
Between you, me, the tree, the rock, everywhere.
I probably can't play that clip because George Lucas will sue me. But actually, that's, I think, where George Lucas got a lot of his ideas, was from that. So in Shinto, you're directly tied to nature, and you celebrate this connection between people and the natural world. There's no real rules to Shinto, and there's no real organization, whereas Buddhism has the sutras. It's more organized, but it's still pretty flexible in its teaching. So that's why you can mix the two together. Neither one of them say we're exclusively it. You can kind of mix and match. But the second part of your question was on if you mixing Shinto and Christianity, Shinto and Islam. And I think if you were a follower of Shinto and you tried to practice Christianity or Islam, initially it would probably feel okay because Shinto is very open and flexible, and you'd be able to incorporate those. The problem you're going to run into if you were a Shinto believer is that the more you got into Christianity or Islam, because they're monotheistic religions and Shinto is not, you're going to run into problems because both Christianity and Islam say there is one God, whereas in Shinto there's gods everywhere. And those wouldn't mix together very well. So eventually, if you tried to mix those together, Shinto Christian or Shinto Islam, you're going to run into an issue eventually where they're not going to line up anymore, and it's just not going to work because Islam and Christianity are going to say, no, Shinto's wrong. And Shinto doesn't say that. It's everything's okay. And so you'll have that conflict. So
Yeah, I don't think anybody actually practices it.
no, I don't think
at the
you'd
same
mix.
time.
The second one was before the Western influence, how did Japanese people measure time? So before 1873, Japan used the lunar solar calendar, which is their version of the Chinese calendar. And even today, you use the era system. So there's two systems even today in Japan. The era, which is from the current emperor, so we're Heisei
Right, still Heisei.
Heisei Niju-san.
Right now, 23? Right? I've stopped.
And you know your birthdays by,
Showa.
right. So like you were saying, you can't remember what year your dad's born in, but you know what year based on the emperor, right?
Right, Showa. I was born when Showa, the Hirohito was
Still
in power.
in power.
Showa 48年, so 48th year of his
Of his reign.
right.
So, and then the second is our standard, it's 2011 right now. The lunar solar calendar is actually based on 24 terms, based on the motion of the sun and the moon. And it's divided into 5 periods, which then works out to 72 seasons. And I found this, but I can't read the kanji, so.
I have no idea.
You don't know what that is?
I didn't know about this.
Oh, really? Yeah, I found that on a site dedicated to
Really?
Japanese, the study of Japanese calendars, but
Never
it didn't
really
have the
studied
hiragana, so I
any of
can't read the kanji.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It says 72, so 72, but I don't know that one. I have to look it up.
Well, it's seasons.
But that's not what
That's
we
not the kanji
use.
for season? So it might be so old.
Right.
Old version. So 72 seasons is the old, before 1873 system. But yeah, even now today, they use based on the emperor. That's what your birthday, everybody still, right?
Right, yeah.
Based on the emperor.
Yeah, they still use it. We don't use 2000 whatever. Not really. Some people do, but usually we use Heisei or Showa,
And actually,
Meiji.
this is not a different thing, but if you're studying Japanese, one thing you're gonna, especially if you're in America, one thing you're gonna want to learn is military time for the trains, because
Yeah, train.
they don't say the train arrives at 9 p.m. It's not 9 p.m.
Right, 9 would be what, at night?
Yeah,
21.
21. So
You have to convert real quick.
you have to know military time.
Right, 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. would be 17. Yeah, 6 p.m. would be 18.
So that's another important thing. It's not necessarily a different way of keeping time. It's just they use military time for things
I
like.
don't know Europe. Maybe they use military time.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
More common. I don't know.
So there was a lot more to his email, but those were 2 that I thought stood out and were some good questions to answer.
Right.
All right. Last up, we wanted to remind you that, as always, finding a Japanese friend to practice with is a great way to become fluent. So we have a featured member of JapanCast Friends. Go to friends.japancast.net and you can sign up for free. She's 30 years old. Her username on JapanCast Friends is HHHS. She lives in Yokohama, and she writes,
I am a professional manga artist, not a VIP member. If you can't speak Japanese at all, we take time to communication. I want to go UK. Is what she wants.
great.
UK
So
ne.
if you've ever wanted to talk to somebody who works in manga industry,
Or if you're especially from United Kingdom,
right,
you might
user HHHS is a professional manga artist looking for friends.
Professional manga artist.
Yeah,
Mangaka.
must be an interesting job.
Yeah, she probably sleeps during the day.
Works all night. Yeah.
I don't know. It's typical.
Cool. So send in your questions to hitomi@japancast.net, and we will try to answer them in a future show. I think that's it for this week, right? Great. Thank you guys for your support. We'll see you again soon.
Happy Valentine's Day. じゃあまたね。